Welcome to the Empress Lioness, a sacred space where the spirit roars and the soul remembers everything. In each episode, we sit with visionaries, founders, creators, and healers. I'm your host, Karen Mitchell.
Workout clothes are ready to go, so that there's no excuse that you got to fumble around in the drawer looking for the spandex pants or the top and the socks and the gym shoes. If it's all right there, that's the first roadblock. So a lot of times we're looking at the whole big step versus what are the consistent small steps that you need to take. So if you feel like, I want to leave my job, I'm really unhappy here, the first thing is not to say, well, I'm just going to quit. The first step is, what does happiness look like to you? And happiness really shouldn't be based on something. It really should be joy. I just want to make the difference about that too. What will bring you joy and fulfillment? If it's not this job, then let's uncover that together, because you're not stuck. You just need to understand where it is that you want to go. And I think that's what keeps us moving forward.
Let's elaborate. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry,
okay.
Go ahead.
No.
I wanted to go back to what you said, because that's a very important question that I would like clarity on. I want to elaborate on that. The difference between the joy and the happiness, because, I know some people mostly look for happiness on the outside of themselves because they feel like, somebody should make me happy. But you said something very profound. The joy and happiness are two different things. Elaborate more on that for me.
Because joy is internal. And that is a place that no one can take away from you, because it's not based on things or people or places, but it's based on you finding that peace that even when the storm is raging around you and things are going wrong, you can just say, hey, it's going to be okay. Because you have that stability and you have that inner strength that just says, I'm okay. But happiness is based on if I got a raise today, or if someone didn't call me a name, or someone cut me off in traffic, or happiness, did they give me that bonus? Did I get that job? And those things are fleeting. But joy, you have to find what is your foundation for joy that's within yourself that no one can take away, regardless of the circumstance. Because the things are going to happen in life, but we have to be able to say, it's going to be okay.
Yeah. That's a great definition. Now, if a woman could only remember one truth about herself today, what would you want it to be?
That one truth is that she can be whoever she wants to be. Because first she needs to do is get to know who that person is. Because the word says that he knew you before you were in the womb. But you have to understand who that new is.
Yeah.
So you have to know whose you are, and then go in that journey of uncovering that new, NKNEW, and not who the world says you are. So that takes courage, and it takes you surrounding yourself with other people that says, hey, you can do this. And not the naysayers, like you said earlier in our conversation, people who say, why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
We shouldn't allow outside influences to really take us off our course, because those people are really not for you. It goes back to that saying, some people are just not meant to journey with you. They're just supposed to be there for a short period of time, and you need to let them go. But hang on to the one truth that that will never go away, and that's him. He is not going anywhere. And I say that, and I hope I'm not in any way turning people off. But if you have a foundation in your creator, or whoever you call him, there's nothing that's impossible for you.
I like that. Because, so many times we just want to put it in one category, but, there's so many different people out here, and there's so many different experiences in life that you don't want to just cap it to one. But what I do want you to do, though, is speak to the woman listening right now that feels like her story is too painful to share, or it's too complicated, or it's too late for her. Because, some women feel like when you get to a certain age, they're just going to continue going on. It's too late for them. They've already passed that threshold. What would you want her to know?
Well, one, I would want her to know that life is a never ending journey, it's never over. And it's up to you to make the choice to live and to not just say that I've reached this milestone and there's nowhere else that I can go in life, because that's not true. Because
Right.
I believe potential has no limits other than what you put on it. So for that woman who feels like, oh, I'm done and I'm not willing and I can't go any further, I would ask them, what would it cost you if you were to try to go further? What would stop you? I mean, so how is that going to, why would you want to place that on yourself? Because you'll look back on your life maybe 10 years from now, and somebody else who's your age at 10 years younger from you will say, well, I went out and I decided to do this, and you'll sit there and go, Now at
Yeah.
that same age, I thought I couldn't do it.
Yep.
But then this woman has shown me that she can do it. So the only person that's stopping you is you. And you have to decide that, and we go through different stages. Like we have the staging of becoming, building, and blessing. Know that that's a continuous cycle.
Right.
It doesn't stop. So you're in one season where you're maybe building and you're getting the blessing, but then you have to go to becoming, to building, to getting the blessing. So you have to continue that cycle, and you can't say that I'm arrived once the blessings come, because they're going to dry up. I'm just going to be honest. They're going to dry up now.
That's true. That's true.
And you have to say, now, how am I going to replenish this well that I've exhausted? There's no more water.
Yep.
I'm parched. And you're in this situation because you chose to say that there's nothing else for me to do. So I say to that woman, why, what would be the outcomes of you going forward? What could be possible if you just believed that you could do more and become more?
Right. That is awesome. So before I let you go, Miss Haseena, tell our listeners how they can get in contact with you.
Well, there's a couple of different ways. So, and we didn't talk about this in the beginning. So one, I launched my for-profit business, Faith, Hope, and Spirit, maybe about 10 years ago, I'd say. And then I founded my non-for-profit Ava's Pathway just 2 years ago. So the best way, because in both of those, we provide gatherings that support all women and men too in the for-profit in their journey. So I'm on both sides, because I believe that we are all have that inner creativity and potential if we just believe in that. But you can contact me through, the best way is hsjacksonbook@gmail.com. You can also visit my website at AVAS pathways.org. And then my website is hsjackson.com. So hsjacksonbook@gmail.com, avaspathway.org, or hsjackson.com, because all of those places offer resources, and I have downloads as well. And we're always hosting events, because I'm a firm believer that we have to create environments that are uplifting, inspiring, and create, it helps us to be accountable. So for that woman who feels that she's stuck, do you have a friend? Do you have someone that you can go to that say, you know what, I want to launch my own business, and these are some things that I need to do? And that person can become your accountability partner. They can reach back to you. Now, you can't get attitude when they ask you, did you do this? Right? You have to be honest. Don't go, would you stop asking me that?
Right.
You have to be willing to stick to the process and know that those small steps. So like today, like I said, first day was you took your gym clothes out and you put them on. But let's say you drove to the gym and you might have stayed there only 10 minutes. You said, oh, I can't do this. Next day, put the gym clothes out again, drive to the gym, make it 20 minutes, 15 minutes, but you have to keep adding on. And that's my point. How can you keep adding on? Don't try to say, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to spend 3 hours there, because then you're never going to go back.
Yeah,
Let me
that's
just say
true.
that. You're going to be like, the next thing you're going to wake up talking about, oh, I just killed myself, and like people say, like writing a book. I'm gonna write my book the whole weekend. I don't really know how that's gonna work, because I don't really know if that's gonna really gel together and make sense.
Yeah.
I take my time to write my books, and it's in spurts, but I'll have some thoughts, and I'll always jot them down, because that lets me know where I need to go. So it's all about me. I always have a little piece of paper that I can
Yeah.
use and take notes on. I am antiquated. If I'm out walking and I only have my phone, I make notes to myself and I send them to myself.
Oh,
Always take your time, because that's how I really stay inspired. Every day I get up, I read, I meditate, I walk. And that helps me set the tone for my day. So you have to decide on what your schedule and what your ritual will be to help you get going. And I know I probably said more than you asked for, but it's
no,
just the
you're
fact
fine.
that I think it's really important that we know that we empower ourselves. In
Yes.
essence, you empower yourself.
Yes.
It's not what you read, is not what someone else tells you, but you have to be willing to inspire yourself, but then surround yourself with people who help you along in that journey.
Oh no, that's great advice. I need to take that advice as well, because I run into those same roadblocks, and I need to keep myself inspired. But not every woman has a support system, but it's like you said at the end, if you inspire yourself by doing little every day and reminding yourself every day, then that helps. And that's what I base mine on as well. But
But I have to ask you one thing. When people say they don't have a support system, there are support systems available. And I'm not, and I just say that because we tend to isolate ourselves.
yeah,
But there's avenues out there. I mean, if someone reaches out to you, don't take it as offensive. Why would she want to talk to me? Really be receptive. You don't even
yes,
know. God could be opening up a door for you. Now, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just think about that. I hear that so much. But we have to learn how we're not an island,
yeah,
and we weren't created to be that way.
that's
I mean,
true.
I do a circle every month through Ava's Pathway, and it's online virtually. Anybody's welcome to join. And we
Okay.
just sit there in the community, and people can be themselves and share what's on their mind, and there's no judgment.
That's awesome. We should actually put that in the footnotes, so that other women that want to join are able to join. That's great.
Yes, thank you for that.
No, it really is. But Haseena, thank you so much for honoring your truth and trusting this space with your voice. And to every woman listening, your story is not your shame, it's your power. Until next time, walk in your truth, speak with your heart, and rise like the Empress you are. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much.
I'm your host, Karen Mitchell.